Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Hey there, welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name's Jamin. This is the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what? So I have block schedule for high school, and so I got new classes this semester.
Because you're back in school now. Yeah. Because Christmas is over.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that got depressing.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
You had a happy story.
Yeah, I got new classes, and so now I have chemistry, honors English 2, Spanish 1, and choir. So, yeah.
One of those sounds doable.
Choir?
Spanish and honors chemistry and...
Oh, no, not honors chemistry. Okay, so all of my friends tried to convince me to take honors chemistry, but then they also were like...
What kind of friends are those?
Well, and then they're like,
Smart
oh,
friends.
It's so hard. And I'm like, well, then why would I? And so anyway, so I'm taking regular chemistry, but honors English. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Good
That's
for
fun.
you. Here's something that's more fun than honors English, which then I could follow that up with almost literally anything in the universe. And it'd be more fun. But
actually, my teacher's amazing. So
that's great.
For that class,
that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, a class is a teacher. A subject is anything. Here we go. We're gonna play "Waiting on the World to Change." And last week we tried transcribing all the stuff, and this week we're going to just try to play each of the individual notes. We do need to see the tablet, though, and probably the keys would be helpful. Thanks for that. The way that I prefer to do it is with these ones down. Nope, up top. The first page that you have, this one right here, I would prefer that you get really familiar with the key. So you've got 1, and 1. And then in between, you've got this this pattern right here. In my brain, this is the key of D. D is number 1. It's the most important note. And in case you can't find a D yet, that's just a group of 2 black notes. You find the note in the middle, and that's a D. And then the geography, the pattern in the middle, is just this little mountain range that happens here on the 3rd note and the 7th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And even when I'm not playing those notes, those are still visually for me kind of in my field. And honestly, even if I'm not looking at it, like I'm still going through that pattern. In fact, probably if I'm not looking at it, it's more a geography than if I'm looking at it. So I've got these hills that happen on the 3rd note and the 7th note. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all this has nothing to do with John Mayer or Waiting on the World to Change, except that it has everything to do with John Mayer and Waiting on the World to Change. Because once you're familiar with that pattern, then you can play notes in the song and never guess a terrible note. You might guess a wrong note, but it's not going to sound terrible like the rest of those notes would that are not in that pattern. So anyway, getting that group of 2, finding the middle note, and then in the middle having those 2 hills that happen the 3rd note and the 7th note. So that thing right there, even without the keys, just having that middle group that's a larger valley, and then the 3 and the 7 are the hills, and I've got a little tiny valley on the top and a medium valley on the bottom. That's kind of what's going through my head. And then I'm just playing the numbers or the positions. I write them out as numbers because, whatever, it's numbers, I guess, makes sense to label the notes. But in my head, it's really positions. So number 3 is the mountain, the first mountain. But if I wrote out on your paper, first mountain, that would take up a lot of space and wouldn't make any sense. So we've numbered them 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, down to 6. And for most people, that thing is a brain-breaking event to go past the 1 and down, because that's not a thing that exists down there. But that pattern, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, goes on down below. And as long as you're not thinking of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but you're just thinking of it as positions or chunks, then, sorry, chunk is the wrong word, isn't it? Sorry, Mark. So once we have this one right here, the next note down is that next second mountain. Hopefully that made sense. The 7 right there. So for me, breaking over that from 1 down to 6 it's not a weird thing. It's just the next set of that same pattern, that same geography. So if this all seems weird so far, like when are we going to get to John Mayer, we're getting there. But this is an important thing to be able to go over 1 and not just have this set 1 octaves worth of notes that you can use. So 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 6, or the note that is on the rightmost of the biggest valley, is a lot of words and a very small concept in my brain. It takes up the least amount of space. Counting up to 6 takes way longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and trying to get up to that 6, that's craziness. Or 1, trying to go down 7 and 6. So just remember, 7 is there's 7 notes. 7 is the last note. All right, enough of the theory of trying to get this key of D thing to happen for you. 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 6, 6, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 is me and all my friends. We're all misunderstood. 6, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1 is they say we stand for nothing. 5 and 6, there's no way we ever could is 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's what's supposed to happen with that thing, and that is the smallest amount of information that I can boil this song down to for my brain to memorize the whole thing. If I can just kind of remember, oh yeah, well, we're in the key of D. That's its own thing for me to have down, to know that pattern. And then just knowing that it's in kind of that set of notes right there, the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 6, a couple 5s in there. That set of notes right there is Waiting on the World to Change, basically. Now, if you want the exact notes, the note names on the lines and spaces of the treble clef, because that's the way your brain works, then cool. we're right here. You should know starting off that we got this key signature here that's telling us that every F is in the song is going to be sharp and every C in the song is going to be sharp unless they tell us otherwise. I don't think they tell us otherwise anywhere in the song, but it could be imaginable that you would have an F in a song like this where normally you wouldn't. F doesn't really show up very much. You have all F sharps except for one exception. So in this case, F sharp is the normal version of F, and C sharp is the normal version of C. And the notes here, saying the words as you go, or better yet, singing the words as you go is going to help a whole lot in playing this stuff. But me is supposed to be an F sharp. Then we have, and all my fre is all E right there. And then ns for friends is going to go down to a B. Then we're is a B. We're all misunderstood. It should be a D, 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 A. Now, the thing I don't like about this is, and this works just fine. I mean, millions, billions, millions, lots of people use this all the time. And so there's nothing wrong with this at all, as long as while you're playing, you can do the same thing that I do with my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, where 1 is an important note. If when you get to this thing, you see 2 sharps, okay, I know we're in the key of D, or just because your teacher told you that we're in the key of D, that works too. And then the D line, this thing right here that is the D line, kind of gets highlighted in your mind. So as you run into notes that are on that line as you're reading your music, that those notes kind of stick out, or that line kind of sticks out as being more important than the rest, because it's going to be very important that you know where your key center is, where the most important note, the root of the key, the do of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. All these are different ways of saying the same thing. That D is going to be significant. And if you're just reading F sharp, E, B, you can end up playing all of the right notes and never have really a sense of what key you're in or where the key center is. And so that thing that we did at the beginning where I broke your brain with a 3, 2, 6, and like 6 is supposed to be up here because we're counting from here. Oh, that's right. There's another 6 down there. That whole thing is an important thing to go through. So reading the music can even though it looks like it's more complicated, it can actually kind of be a cheating way of just getting the instructions of, all right, what button am I supposed to press on this instrument in order to get the right sounds to come out? And we want to avoid that if at all possible and really be playing a song instead of just getting the right buttons in the right order, because that's not really necessarily music at all. So you've got all of the letters written out there. If you prefer to read them as lines and spaces, you've got them all right there. And then we do have this thing in here. Let's go ahead and go to the chorus. Well, no, let's go through all of it. We've got time. This is fine. So, me and all my friends were all misunderstood. Oh, we should also show you that other thing that I've been promising you for a long time, and I'll show you why it's not working. Kendra, you want to throw us to the synth thing? Yeah, okay. So this is what's coming up. It doesn't work yet, but because it's all quarter notes right now, it stinks. But once that gets fixed and I'm allowed to put lyrics in and rhythms in, which I'm promised I'll be able to do soon from the wonderful makers of this program, then we'll be able to go through each one of these, and then as I go through each note, it's going to show you each of the notes as we go through and should follow with me in real time. So that's the goal, but it's stupid right now because it's all quarter notes. So Kendra, if you want to throw us back to the other view. But I think for some people that'll be really helpful. And those of you who love to sight read, then we'll follow along with the sight reading stuff with me. All right, we were on Friends. We're all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. Now we see every, again, saying the words on this is really helpful, especially on things like every, any time we have multiple notes on the same syllable or multiple syllables on the same note. It really helps to be saying the words as you go, to not lose your place. Thing that's going wrong. So there we only have one syllable. We have 2 notes. Wrong. with the world and those who lead it. Lead it. It should be an A. We just feel like we don't have the means. Again, there we have one syllable with two notes. To rise above and beat it. So, next page. We keep waiting. The one in parentheses, those are the echo parts. Waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting. And then again in parentheses, the echo part. Waiting on the world to change. This is the little bridge E part. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance. So we keep, we're almost there, waiting. There we have three notes on the same syllable. Waiting on the world to change. And that is the whole entire thing of the notes for the melody. If you play along with with John Mayer or with the play along track that you have, Kendra, do you have the tracks pulled up there? If you could, we're going to use the same order of verses and choruses that we would use over here. So your track goes through the entire thing, but it sounds something like this. Oh, we do have that whole thing at the beginning too. Yeah. So from last week, we've got our intro, which is 8 bars long. Maybe that doesn't make any sense. That's fine. You can go back and watch the lesson from last week. Suffice it to say that we're about to start. And here we go. Ready? Me and all my friends, we're all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong in the world of those who lead. We just feel like we don't need to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting. The world to change. We keep on waiting. On the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when we're still at a distance. We keep waiting. And then, of course, like we talked about, we go back to the like we talked about last week. The verse, the chorus, the instrumental is in there as well. The instrumental, of course, is just instrumental. It doesn't have any melody to it. It's just chords. And we need to talk about chords, but first we need to do our feature of the day, which this week is actually from one of you. It's I have not said this out loud. I've just listened to Bojan Z, and specifically the album Xenophonia. And this is some jazz piano. Honestly, this is like my least favorite feature, just because a lot of you ask me, like, what kind of music do you like to listen to? Which is, in my mind, like saying, what's your favorite color? Like what my favorite color is shouldn't influence your favorite color at all. If my favorite color is blue, you shouldn't go, oh yeah, blue really is a better color.
But we want to know, Jamin.
Well, apparently, but I want you to like whatever you like. So when you ask me, which nearly everyone does, so that's apparently a thing. But you got to know my opinion of what kind of music I like to listen to is so much lower than your opinion. But this week is from one of the students who introduced me to Bojan Z, and I'm really enjoying listening to that. It's jazz piano, and it's fun stuff to listen to. So you can go check that out if you want to be listening to the same thing as me. And my favorite color is orange, and you could.
Wait, your favorite color is orange?
Well, yes.
That's my favorite color.
We're the same.
We're the same.
You just have to listen to Bo, whatever his name is.
Bojan?
We'll practically be the same person. All right. Let's get to the chords. First, let's level up. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.